friends, tis I, Brie Pie. So this week the theme is rainy day. So I decided it would be really cute to do this little Princess and the Frog thing with a little girl who is really not wanting to kiss the frog. So this was voted on by everyone, but normally Patreon will have the last say in what theme or character I do. So if you want to add to the next one, please join my Patreon where you get access to the final image and to the voting along with other fun goodies like buttons and stickers and little hand-done sketch cards. I think the next character is Miss Marvel, which is I think what my patrons have all voted on, so I'm excited to see how that one comes out. I really love Miss Marvel a lot, so... I also just finished my first year of college. Yay! I just finished my last final yesterday. So I am no longer freshman, so that's really exciting. And for those of you who don't know, I'm attending the Kansas City Art Institute, and I'm planning to double major in illustration and creative writing, so I'm really excited about this. So I thought I would kind of talk about my first year in art school, which is called a foundations year. Oh, excuse me. Where you kind of learn all the basics of art making and general stuff like color theory, working with cardboard and other really cheapish materials, to get a feel for inventiveness on a low budget. And you make a lot of really cool things. But it's kind of a world of its own, and it's really hard and stressful, and a lot of people don't realize how hard art school is, so they kind of, like, I don't know, they just they don't know. So I kind of wanted to make this little, like, tips for anyone who's interested in art school, or is looking to go to art school, or here, or just anywhere. So, you know, my advice for someone who's going into their foundations year. So the first thing I think is really important, is to push yourself, like, really push yourself. Try to get yourself out of your comfort zone. Try new things, experiment, play, just try hard. Really hard. And yes, there is a grade, and so you have to make sure that the thing you make is presentable, but really, if you push yourself a lot of times, that'll pay off. So even if what you make, you're not quite sure what you're doing, just try really hard to figure out how to do it, because it'll help you in the long run. My next thing is make a plan. I cannot express how insanely important this is. Plan your time, use time management, it is so important. I saw a lot of people, so many people, bite off way more than they could chew and not plan their time accordingly. So yes, push yourself, but also make sure you're being reasonable with your time and money. Be resourceful. If you don't have enough money to get the supplies you need, just try to improvise and do what you can with that. So improvisation is also really important. Make sure that you can improvise if what you're doing ends up not working out. So then my next thing is take critique with a grain of salt. People are going to say things that don't always make sense to you or are completely disregarding what you intended for the piece. And it's important to hear those because it's going to help you to figure out how other people see your art. But sometimes people are just mean, and when they say things, they're just trying to be mean. And in those cases, the best thing you can do is to ask someone who you're really good friends with and ask for an honest critique. Because if you think that someone's just being mean, and I mean really ask them to be honest, because if the piece isn't working, then you really need to know, so that you can fix it. But yeah, so I mean, another thing that's really important is just learning to take a critique, because like, the art world is really harsh, and sometimes things you think are really great aren't that great, and you gotta know how to take a harsh critique and how to use that and make your art the best that you possibly can. And that's something that I had a hard time learning. I still have a hard time learning. And I don't like making people upset, but there are just certain times when you just have to say, like, yeah, this could have been better. And those are always hard times, but sometimes you just gotta do it. So another thing that's important to think about is there's always a lot of competition in art school, and that's important, but also try not to compare yourself to others that much. Your work is your own work and not someone else's. So really what you want to do is you want to push yourself to be better than you. make your art better than it was last year or last month. Try really hard to figure out who you are and just get it to work for you. Because, like, looking at people's art, I mean, sometimes that'll help push you. Because you want your art to be as good as theirs, or because you feel like you're not doing as well as they are. And, like, sometimes that's okay to, like, do that, but there are also times when it's detrimental, because it's like, your art is your art. You're not that person. You're not Bethany or whoever's art you're looking at. I don't know. I just made that up. Because just, yeah, it's... Art school is a really weird competitive world. So just always keep that in mind if you're going into art school. So my next tip is take care of yourself. I watch so many people exhausted, living off coffee, and sick from not eating, doing drugs, and getting drunk, and just that's not going to help you make good art. So just really try your best to stay away from all that. And I saw a video a while back talking about like how I've lost my words. How the like environment of art school is like kind of pushes you to that. Like it's competition to see who's the most like detrimental to their own health for their art. And like don't do that. It's not good. You're not gonna make good art doing that. It's just not a good idea. So like something that helps is try to ground yourself in reality, because like getting stuck outside of like you're gonna get yourself stuck and not know what's going on in the real world outside of art, and that's not good. So just try to keep yourself grounded in something. Something I do is I play video games a lot, and that kind of helps me keep myself grounded. But yeah, so those are some of my tips for anyone who's interested in going to art school. I really love it. It's awesome. It's terrifying. It's stressful. And I'm no longer a freshman anymore. I'm going into illustration, and I'm so excited. I am going to have class from on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I am gonna hate it, but also gonna love it, and I'm so excited. So yeah. Trying to think of what else I need to say. Let's see, what else should I tell you guys about? Oh yeah, and there's also gonna be like some professors who just like don't, like you're like, I don't really know what that means. Like I had one professor come up and tell me, I like the grammar of this piece, and I was like, I don't know what that means actually. So just, that's the thing that's gonna happen. You're gonna have professors who say things, and you're gonna be like, that means nothing to me, because sometimes they don't explain what they're actually talking about. And you're just sort of lost. And you're like, okay, that's great. So sometimes it's also important to like try to memorize like the terminology, but sometimes they use really weird terminology, and you're like, that means nothing to me. And so you gotta do your best and guess on what that means. I think he was talking about the form of the piece. I think is what he was telling me. But I'm not quite sure. But yeah, alright, so here's my little rainy day piece. I hope you guys liked it. As always, check out my Patreon if you want a copy of her. Also, patrons choose what topic or character I do next, so I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!